What's up YouTube? Thanks for joining me. I'm Andy in West Wales, United Kingdom. This is my astrology of the day, a quick birth chart if you will for the day ahead as we go into Tuesday the 13th of February 2018. All my times the UK unless otherwise stated, that is GMT or UTC. At 5:43am UK time, that is midnight 43 Eastern, and yesterday in Pacific the moon went void in Capricorn, and that was quite a stern, quite a severe time in Capricorn. So things have eased off a lot now. At 15:11 today, that is 11 minutes past midday Eastern time, America, the moon enters Aquarius, and this is setting the scene for the partial solar eclipse and the new moon that comes in on Thursday the 15th, just 2 days from now. But we're void, of course, all day. Basically, during a void, the best thing to do is nothing that attracts new action, nothing that really involves sparking off a new project or anything like that. It's a time for consolidation. It's a time for looking back over what we've done in the last few days, if not the last few months, if not the last rest of our lives, which happens sometimes. But don't get too bogged down in that. It's mostly happening. The astrological cycle is always going. What happened last time doesn't matter too much, as long as you keep looking up, keep expecting the good things, the good ideas to come in, you know, and things are very good that way. And under Aquarius, it's a lovely transit. People are more interested in knowledge. They like to be with like-minded people, really, and friendships can take off like that. But certainly communication is very much enhanced between like-minded people, but freedom and independence also become important, and the desire for that is strengthened a lot. So people want to establish their own rules. It's a good time for anything to do with reading, study, science, anything like that you want to bone up on and add knowledge, particularly because we've got this void of course period just before it, so you could actually start that now, you know, reading and gathering knowledge, all very good stuff. But in terms of pushing yourself forward, I would leave it until after 15:11 UK time. That's 11 minutes past 12 today Eastern, because then the moon is actually in Aquarius and we haven't got that void thing going on. The only thing under an Aquarius moon, really, anything that needs real like self-discipline and actually discipline from other people, you know, being subordinate to other people, that is very difficult at a time like this. And jobs that are boring really get boring at a time like this as well. But, you know, don't worry about it. Just keep looking up, keep looking for answers, because they are there and they do come. So, for our void, of course, moon, we start the day with here. It is 6% full now and waning crescent, on its way down to new moon in 2 days' time. In the mid-cycle, the moon puts on maybe 10-12% a day, or loses 10-12% a day. But it slows down as we come up to a new moon, and it also slows down around a full moon as well. It's just the way the cycle works, because it's an egg-shaped transit. We get the perigee, where it's close to the perimeter of the Earth. The apogee, which we had, I think, the day before yesterday, where the moon's as far away as she can ever get from us. That affects the level of influence, really, that we feel in our world. That's all I can... That's a very confusing way of putting it, isn't it, actually? So I just left you to think about that one. But no, it just all depends how far it is away. It doesn't stop affecting us. It doesn't change anything much, but the influence changes. Anyway, though, we're now coming up to this new moon, so the progression is slowing down with 6% full today, and we've actually got over 48 hours to lose that 6% and get down to zero and have the new moon, which comes in at 21:05 UK time. Let me see, that must be 16:05 Eastern, is that right? I hope so. And 1:05 PM in Pacific time as well. So, right, and that is actually all on the same day. That is actually all going to be on Thursday. But today, the moon is void in Capricorn, as I keep saying. I think I've just about covered that one. But something I haven't said yet, business matters, anything to do with business, could be subject to change. If you're starting off a new business idea, that could be quite shaky. And formalities don't really get you anywhere. Just observing people's traditions, you know, usually that gets you somewhere. That's less likely while we've got a void, of course, going on. But when the moon enters Aquarius, things kind of settle down and we can all get on with our lives, as it were. So yesterday, it was a root day in the biodynamic cycle. When we actually get into Aquarius, it's going to be a flower day. So I think we're just about at the end of roots there. This is all worth thinking about if you're in the garden working or working outdoors, maybe forestry, but something out on the land, something close to nature. These biodynamic things make a big difference. It's a system that seems to have been invented or at least come up with by, is it Jacob or Joseph Steiner, the famous Steiner who's responsible for the Steiner schools and everything. Very clever person, almost an Edgar Casey actually of his time in other ways. And so I tend to follow that. I don't really know exactly why it works, but it does. I had a girlfriend once who worked on a biodynamic farm, and they had a great deal of success just by planting according to the moon phases and generally living out the astrology. There you go, a bit of a sermon there, don't want to do that. Believe what you want to believe, folks. I am not here to change anybody's mind about anything, except maybe if you think this world is hazard, if you think this world is no fun, no good anymore, well, keep listening. You don't have to listen to me at all, but things do actually get better, and if there's a message I want to get out there, really, it's that things do get better. Astrology is a big part of seeing what's coming and responding to it. It's made a big difference in my life since I took it up. So it's a good thing, and there is still good out there, no matter how nitty-gritty the world can feel, you know. Okay, spaceweather.com, and straight on to the laws of physics now. The solar wind speed at this very moment, 316.2 kilometers a second. Proton density out there, 10.3 protons a cubic centimeter. Continuing the theme we've seen through this week, really, the solar wind speed is decreasing and decreasing, strangely actually, because there's plenty of it coming out of the sun at the moment, but it's not going very fast. It is, however, getting very, very thick. I guess that's a bit like when you turn the fan off on the car heater, or you turn the fan down, and it's slower blowing the hot air out, so it feels warmer even though it's slower. I think that's what's happening. I think as it gets thicker, it's slowing down. But there's only the one sunspot situation, really. I say that because it's actually split into 4 sunspots. It looks like 5 to me. One of them's subdivided again. And some of these, right, I mean, like there's actually a magnetic island in it. There are 2 magnetic islands in this sunspot that are as big as Earth, could actually sink Earth in, and it reminds you how vast the sun is. If you want to have a look at that, go to spaceweather.com. It is actually all science. You won't find any spiritual stuff in there, but you will find some answers to the spiritual goings-on once you get to understand this. There is a stream of high-speed solar wind due to reach us on February the 15th or 16th, so that is actually New Moon Day or the day after. It's also partial solar eclipse day or the day after. So that could be something to watch out for. That could play into that, make that rather different, because then we might have G1 class geomagnetic storms buffeting the Earth, affecting our electronics, and generally affecting the stability of, the physical stability of the world. I'm not talking about anything too out there. Okay, so that's it for today. Void, of course. Not a great deal I can say about the void, of course, but it is all happening. It is all part of the preparation. And when we get a long time of nothing much happening, that really is a time of recharging batteries, and I don't mean you have to take the day off and have a rest, as good an idea as that is, but do be, looking towards feeding the soul. My grandmother used to say, if you've got 2 pennies left, spend one on some food for yourself and spend the other on a bunch of flowers. Something for the soul is really, really important. Man cannot live on bread alone. There we go. I'm getting all philosophical on you now. Thanks very much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. I love meeting people around the world. It is absolutely fascinating. And that is one of the benefits of the internet, is it not, my friends? Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.